Hey, YouTube.
Oh wait, can you see?
Oh.
Can you see my reactions?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I can see him, yeah.
You can just use your face.
No, I refuse.
Oh, it's come up live. I think I'm going to watch
Are you
this on
wa-
my phone as well.
I was going to ask if you were watching us.
And it's like
Oh, too
Good
bright.
Brothers Inception.
Oh wait, so we're gonna be live on YouTube as well.
Like now.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, we're already live.
yeah.
Oh,
That's why I said recording started.
oh, I thought you were joking. Like you just preparing yourself.
But it
What's
wouldn't
it
hold up
called?
in the
Good.
court at all.
Good Film Brothers. Close enough. Or is it? Oh, so what is it? Good Brothers Film.
Yeah. Good
Good.
Brothers Film.
Emmanuel, you've been here for a year.
Channels.
Me and names. Wait, that's not us.
That's not a good start.
Let's go around the room and introduce yourself so Emmanuel is good at done.
Wait, can someone send a link to like one of the videos, please?
Yeah.
Or I could
Yeah,
go
let me
through
find
Facebook. Because I have some of the videos and stuff saved, but for some reason I just can't find them.
I just got a notification about last week on my Pahone.
No. Right, there you go. I've just
On
got
your
one
Pahone.
in the
My
group.
Pahone.
Cojones.
Oh, you got the purple rain.
Holy Pahone.
Oh, and you made the purple light. I get it.
Yeah. I matched it, man. I matched it.
Purple rain.
No.
I'm not well at the moment.
Oh, what's up, man?
It's not COVID, is it?
Is it something you want to share with the world?
Probably not.
I guess not.
Inconclusive.
What did you? Oh, this is us. I didn't actually think that was. I thought our logo was different.
Yeah, I changed it when
Rob's
John
constantly
left.
changing it.
Because the original logo had 7 sides, and then John left, so I was like, oh, I'll change it.
Oh, I didn't realize it changed. So that's why I found it. I was just like, this ain't ours. This is someone else's. So I didn't click on it.
And they've watched all the same films as us.
Yeah, how coincidental.
Huh?
It's like coincidental that they watch all these films in the same order.
When I clicked on it, I was just like, wait, Shape of Water? Stand By Me?
Yeah.
Wait, these are wait,
A lot of you are going to go in and go like, wow, Pat, Ben, Rob, Alec, we're all here.
And Daniel Humphrey.
Daniel Humphrey.
Well, he's not.
I think it's a bit behind. But yeah, it's streaming live. Wait, it says top chat 1. Oh,
Oh,
it's got 2 likes now. I've liked it.
we've got 3 likes now,
Oh my god.
which is possibly the most likes we've ever had on a video.
Has either of the Quiet Places been on Film Club before?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
It's just one of those films we've watched together, isn't it?
Is this
No,
like
no,
a...
we haven't watched it.
Well, me and Pat saw it in the cinema, the sequel, so I think we're talking about it.
So did Emmanuel.
Yeah,
Are
that's
you really
you
announcing your-
both of them.
Remember, Emmanuel watched the
with me.
first one on the way.
And so
Yeah.
He actually finished it. He finished it during the trailers for the second one.
yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I finished the movie doing the trailers, and then that was great though. because it just went immediately into the next. So I was just like, yes. All right, let me get headphones on since you haven't watched it yet. Unless you want to. Camilla wasn't able to finish it yet. Because you were tired. She fell asleep
First of all,
because
Rob,
we watched it on the way.
Congratulations on last night.
Oh, West Ham.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got a nice
wow.
draw
What did I
in
do?
the next one.
We were talking
Well,
about.
Good Brothers Football Club.
it's ideal actually because if we beat Lyon, then we get either Frankfurt or Barcelona in the
Time
semi-final.
is going on.
So Barcelona in the semi-final is what I'm keeping my fingers crossed for because like Mark Noble at the new camp would just be hilarious.
Right, we better stop the football talk before these lot get the ump. Then turn into John.
That's all right. It's just, you know,
It's
it's just
Good
film
Brothers
club.
Drinking Club now. Do I need to drink some agua fresca?
I like that you continue to talk about football.
Yeah.
Talk about whatever we want to talk
Alec,
No,
why did you pick this film?
pick this film to piss you off because I know you hate fish people.
I don't hate fish people. I picked yours for crying out loud.
I do not hate
Yours
fish
was about
people
a fish person.
or
It was about
people
fisher
of
people,
fish.
not fish people.
No, it's good. I like the bit where they go whoosh. You know,
I missed that bit.
oh, it's the bit where the car. Yeah.
It's a bit where he goes like this, and then he drops. Yeah.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes were pretty cool. Sorry, carry on.
No, that's okay. Did you see the football last night? It was
Beautiful.
Oh, this is film club. Stop.
Oh, no. I picked this film because my favourite one got picked by Humphrey. Fuck off,
Oh,
Humphrey.
what's that?
Labyrinth.
Even though he liked it less than you.
Yeah,
And forgot it was Spanish.
took my favourite Guillermo del Toro away from me without knowing a fucking thing about it.
Wait, which one was that?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's
That was
Labyrinth.
round 3, so I think before your time.
Yeah.
John was concerned that he was watching the wrong film because he was like, "They're all speaking Spanish," and it was like, "No, it's a Spanish film."
When he picked it, I was like, "Oh, it's Spanish," and Dan was like, "Oh."
Maybe it's just one of those things. Yeah, he just never knew beforehand. It's a popular film, ain't it? It's a classic.
Turns out that Dan can speak Spanish, and he just never realised it was in English.
Doesn't he have a Portuguese aunt?
Oh yeah, he does actually. Yeah.
So I just love the idea of just
Okay.
watching it and he just understands it entirely, and then he's just like, just,
Ah, shit.
yeah. So I thought because Guillermo is one of my favorite directors, if not my favorite. I know that's a controversial thing to say in here, but you all like Tim Burton, so.
Hey,
I
we
like
all
both.
like Guillermo del Toro.
Rob doesn't. He hates him.
Do you know
I
what?
mean, he's
think my
responsible
hate
for
was
the
exact-
iconic line.
What
Hey?
iconic line?
Oh no.
What iconic?
Today we are cancelling the apocalypse.
Yeah. He didn't write that though, did he? I
Oh
thought
my goodness.
he wrote this.
Hey, he's the director. He's responsible for it.
Yeah,
He is. He gave it the clear head.
I suppose.
He thought it was a good
I
idea.
love it. Everyone hates it. I
We're
love
not,
it.
we're not
even
talking
more.
about that one. We're not talking about that one. So I thought it was
Well,
overdue that I
I'll pick it
picked Guillermo, and Shape of Water is one of my favourites. So that's there you
Fair
go.
enough. It was good. It was good.
It was good. I'm glad it passed your smell test. I'm glad there was no footwear that was weird or oil radiated.
Yeah, I have to admit, Emmanuel, I was expecting something very specific from you today.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to be like, all she had to do was go to the dollar store and buy some duct tape and waterproof her bathroom before filling it up.
Who eats
Oh,
3
man.
hard-boiled eggs for lunch? I was expecting. Come on then, let's go. Let's do
I mean,
Why
there's
is the
people in
pie so
America,
green?
Yeah, that was just. I love a hard boy.
America, artificial colors.
Mhm.
I mean, to be honest, it's 1962. So
Artificial
Oh, yeah.
colours and waterproof
any-
bathrooms.
Camilla was bringing this point up. Does anyone know why there are quite a lot of films set specifically in 1962? I know it's 12 years after the what's the battle that the main villain guy is basically
World War
he
II.
met the general.
No, sorry.
The battle of wait a sec.
Two.
The Battle of Pusan. That's it. That was in 1950. That's where the guy with the 2 black fingers, the dead fingers, met with the General Hoyt. That's where they first met. But besides that, like, I was like, why are there so many films set in 1962? Very
See, that's
specific.
interesting actually, because I just googled films set in 1962 because I didn't have any like off the top of my head, and the first one I found is 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure.
Hey,
That is absolutely
Camilla,
fucking insanity.
101 Dalmatians set in 1962. She's shouting, she can't hear. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
But no, you are right. To be fair, there are a lot. I've just got a list up, and there's loads. You got American Graffiti, Escape from Alcatraz, Forrest Gump, Ghost Ship, Grease 2 apparently.
Grease 2.
Not the first one though.
Oh,
Green
Day of the
Book,
Jackal as well.
Hairspray. Yeah, there's loads. Jersey Boys.
Yeah, she talked about Hairspray. I was just like, oh, like, I get this. What she was explaining, she's like, I get that there's a kind of crossing point in terms of fashion at that time, because that's her specialty. She'd be like,
Excuse me.
bless you, because obviously, bless you, there was a cross between the 50s and the 60s, and a lot of things were changing at those times. But and there was still a lot of old views around, but things were slowly changing with kind of new blood. But why that specific year?
Yeah.
Like, not 1963, 4, 5, 62. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
good look at that up afterwards.
I couldn't tell you.
On a separate random note, I didn't realize when you buy a film on Apple TV, it's similar to when you get it on DVD or Blu-ray, and you get all the extra features and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, I've
And
noticed that.
this
That's
is-
pretty cool. I wish Netflix
very
did
cool.
that more. And Amazon.
Oh, you did that on Amazon as well.
Well,
So
they
on
don't put
Amazon-
enough. They don't. They only have like random stuff that's not with it. You have to search for it to find some extras or documentaries.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Apple
Oh.
sounds like they do it the right way.
This is the
That's
mark of
good.
a good pick. We're talking about Apple TV.
Yeah, but
But,
Jake Water, a good documentary behind this.
but yeah, I was watching how like they filmed some of the shots. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, if I had more time, I would have done more background research into it. But I thought the way they went about it, shot it, how it was acted and everything, I thought it's pretty cool. And yeah, it was only 50 more P, and then I got all of this extra stuff. I was like, oh, didn't expect this. It's usually like four pounds more, which is why I don't do it. But anyway,
Yeah, I noticed that on Amazon actually that it was only 50p more to buy than rent.
I wonder why.
I don't know. How much did you pay for it, Pat?
Fucking thing this is.
Pay
Yeah,
for
I've
what?
got Blu-ray. So
What do you mean pay for what? The film?
Oh, I bought it in 4K.
How much
I
for?
used the disc. 20
Oh,
quid.
20
oh.
quid.
When did you buy it?
Yeah, I a few weeks ago.
Oh,
I already had it actually. I just thought it still looks good on regular Blu-ray.
I mean, 4K is nice though. If you got a 4K TV, might as well maximize it. And which 4K TV do you have now, Patrick? I said Patrick, Pat. That's because your name.
Okay, name of that.
I never call you
I
Patrick.
don't actually know. I don't ever
Does
pay
that matter?
attention to it.
That's all right.
I don't know the specifics off the top of my head.
You still need to upgrade it, don't you, to get for the in the future for the
I do
the
need.
PS5.
I do need a better TV to get more out of it, but
Yeah,
it's a good enough one. It's a basic 4K one.
yeah, does the job. Cool. Oh, sorry, Alec. You carry on with the movie.
What is wrong with you, Alec?
I'm just like, let's talk about this film, and we're all just like, when did you buy it? I bought it in 4K. I got it on this disc. $7.99.
What TV have you got?
50 more p. Yeah, no.
I'm part of the experience.
Yeah. Oh, good. Don't let me stop you. You're enjoying yourself.
What did you think about the dancing shot where she's singing in her head?
I felt bad. I felt like a little bit bad for it because I remember when we went to go and see it in the cinema. I remember people kind of like giggling at it, and I was like, "You fucking bastards!" But like, I imagine it probably does feel like a little bit jarring when you spent the whole film with her like being mute, and then she suddenly like bursts into song. But like, I don't know.
Really?
I think it's such a fucking powerful moment because it's
Yeah.
you're just like right in her head, and like it. I don't know. I can see why people would think it was like a little bit goofy or something, but for me, it's like
But
fantastic.
you spend the whole film listening to that exact music
Yeah.
from films that look very much like that. Yes, he mixed classical black and white films, which were very, like as he was describing it, very static, with Gene Kelly type stylistic kind of panning shots and sweeping shots. So, but it's all that kind of cheesy stuff. So, I guess maybe because we don't really get films like that these days.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's perfectly what her mind, or she'd dream as like a perfect vision of what like happiness and like being fulfillment and all sorts of things like that of that era in the late 1950s is that exactly what she'd think about when she's in the fantasy world. So that's where her mind would go to, is in those like Gene Kelly type musical like variety shows of that era. And so that's why that's what she thinks of as soon as she like goes in her like, yeah, this is the perfect world of me being with him. No one's judging us together. That's the way we want it to be.
I genuinely think that is like one of the most powerful, like immaculate scenes that he's ever done. Like, I don't know. It just seems so like fucking him, where he's like paid so much attention to like the set design and stuff, and making it all kind of true to like that time period. And she, like this mute character, we're just in her head, and she is just singing her heart out. And then you've got Doug Jones in this fucking fish suit, and he's tap dancing.
Yeah.
Fuck, this is so good. Like, it's possibly one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and like, again, I can see why you'd find it goofy, but like when I've heard people fucking giggling at it, I was like, you cunts. Like, this is so fucking good.
Yeah, they just don't get it. Because I think it's a good visual metaphor as well. You can say it all in like imagery, even if you didn't hear her speak or sing. It just does the job perfectly.
It's inspired me. I want to go out and dance with a chicken.
What?
I guess
Hmm,
Pat
I
is in
mean,
love with a chicken man.
No, chicken lady.
just go to KFC. It's okay.
What the fuck are
Yeah.
you doing with this chicken?
Yeah, the KFC is what.
But yeah,
Sorry,
That's
I think
completely thrown me there. I don't.
it's just me taking the piss.
Oh, okay. What's the chicken's name?
Chicky,
Don't know.
McClunky.
You fucking slag.
McClunky. Yeah, I liked a lot of it. The way I wonder, does anyone know if the actress did she learn ASL for the role, or did she already know like American Sign Language? I know there's quite a few different ones, but
I think she learned. I remember hearing the behind the scenes thing about it. I think she did have a coach, and she worked alongside him to learn how to do it as the film was being shot. I think she didn't learn it off part, but she was like, "Teach me to do this," and she did like 5 takes, and yeah, that's what I heard.
she did really well.
I'm not.
I
sure.
can't imagine she'd have known it before because she's a British actress.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so she'd have to have had a coach to learn it on the fly.
Oh, she's a British. Yeah, I didn't get to see like what type of actress she was. I heard her talking, but I'm terrible with accents, so I couldn't tell what she was
Oh
from.
my goodness, she was born in Dulwich. Can you imagine coming from Dulwich?
Dulwich, Alec,
Hmm?
it's Dulwich.
That doesn't make it any better. It's still it sounds
Where is it?
Dulwich. It's in London.
London. It's like is it? It's not near Greenwich, is it? That side, southeast London.
Oh, she's got dyslexia and she suffers from lupus as well.
Oh man.
You know, there'd be an American watching this, and they'd be like, "Greenwich ain't in London; it's in Connecticut."
Oh man.
You're just
I can't even tell you.
that is an immaculate American accent.
Go back.
Oh man. But yeah, it's so Dulwich is south of Peckham, next to Brixton, and before you get to kind of Croydon. So yeah, that is south.
I love it when you put a
London.
camera on Pat and he just fucking panics. When he just says random shit. I'm gonna dance with a chicken.
Oh man.
That was premeditated. Oh dear.
So pause right there.
Oh god. This isn't going how I envisioned. I thought we'd be
It's
talking
funny.
about the film.
we are.
We have
Oh.
the one. I think the last one was Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, what was it? She did really well for someone who doesn't like speak any sign language, because the way she did it, it looked like someone who usually speaks sign, and her mannerisms and stuff. So that's why I was wondering if she did like. So I wouldn't be surprised if she was just like, "Yeah, I've done BSL before." I'd be like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, that makes sense because you have all the mannerisms down." But she just was able to do that. I mean, obviously she researched and stuff like any actor, but still, good job.
Well, I seem to have had a lot of sign language in my my media just lately, because like I recently watched Hawkeye, and I recently watched The Eternals,
Mhm.
and it's
I
really.
haven't finished Hawkeye.
Huh?
I haven't finished Hawkeye yet.
I probably wouldn't finish Hawkeye if I were you.
No, I will. I was enjoying it. Camilla wasn't, but I was. It was
That was
fun.
very like there was a lot of
Don't worry
authority
with
in
the
it.
Eternals.
I was enjoying it.
There were dumb moments. Kate Bishop is annoying, but sometimes, but she also is foolish and not too annoying. Anyway,
I
carry
was, I was saying to Eb, like Eb's not seen Eternals, and
Don't bother.
I was
on.
talking about.
No, Eternals is good.
No, it's not.
Eternals is
alright.
shite.
No, it's
Eternals
not.
is very shit.
Even I
It
didn't
was
like it.
fun.
Even Pat didn't like it. That's how low this.
I liked Eternals.
That's
Eternals
okay.
it was all right. You know, I had a good time.
Well, my whole thing was with the sign language as well, because like you have like the deaf character, and I was really really annoyed for that actress because I think she's deaf. I was really annoyed with like when she's doing the sign language, they don't have her saying anything of any fucking consequence. She's basically just going, I don't know, like something happens and she's like, "Oh, that happened," and I'm like, this seems like a real fucking waste, and it seems like you're just using you got a deaf character in it, so you can say you have like a deaf character in it, and she does the sign language. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have a like saying anything. And I was like, so that's why I find the character who does, because Echo in Hawkeye, I thought her sign language was a lot more like characterful. Like she's allowed to, like you get a lot of her character sort of in the movements, which is why I really really like Eliza in this, because like there is so much character coming through in her performance and stuff, and like you know that whole opening sequence, you're getting like so much of her, well, like without any words, kind of a little bit like the opening of Wall-E, I guess. You get information just through action and stuff, and you know it's a bit of a meme now that I pick pictures, I pick films with masturbation in them, even though this is only the second one with masturbation in them. But like that whole,
it's a meme.
It's a meme. It's a meme. I pick films with wanking in, but like unironically, that little opening sequence with the wanking bit, I thought was hilarious, because she like she does it with the egg timer, and she's right, okay, and she goes like, tick 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 tick, and then she starts, and then it just goes like ding on the clock, and you just get it. It's just like it's all just translated through visual, and I'm like, that's a really fucking funny moment, and it's all done without any words. And like I fucking love her performance in that whole thing, and I find it really really characterful, and that's why I think the deaf character in Eternals is like done dirty. Like she's not allowed to, she's not given anything to say with it, and like this to me is an example of that done fucking well.
That
makes sense.
Yeah, the characters were so like vivid and like real in this. I thought like, you could argue that Michael Shannon was a quite like, what's the word, a caricatural baddie, but I think everything he does in it is justified, and I think he does have like logic to it, because he always. I was going to say he's just a horrible piece of work, but you can see why he does what he does, because he's got a family. He just wants to please his boss. He just wants to put food on the table and get money. But he's got this mean streak, and he's got this like horrible side to him as well that he has to wrestle with, and that what made him such a fascinating villain.
I really believe his character like a lot, and when he's talking about like a man is like I was just like, he is successful in his job like for years and years and years and years, and then he fails once. Does that make him a failure? And it's like,
in fact, he'll say that to his boss.
Yeah, and it's like, this is a I really fucking believe this character like being frustrated, like he's been like an agent for however many years, and he's done all these things, and now he's being given shit because like one thing got fucked up. And it's like, you know,
he's been disposed of.
Piece of work. But sorry, I think Pat wanted to say some things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Pat.
just gonna say, like, Michael Shannon always plays a good bad guy, though.
Hmm.
He just has it in him.
Not Zod.
That was
though,
literally what I
obviously.
wanted. No, that includes Zod,
No,
but let's not get onto that
No.
now.
Oh yeah, Zod. That's what
I
I
love
was
that. That
like.
was. He always plays a good bad guy, but let's not talk about it.
I knew exactly who you were talking about.
I mean, I liked him in Zod. I just thought the film could have been, a little better, but it was better than some of the
A
other
lot
Supermans.
better.
But that's another conversation.
Sorry, getting back to Shape of Water. I like. I find Strickland quite compelling as a character. I don't necessarily like him, but
Oh yeah, we're not meant to.
Yeah, that's sort of why it's good.
but I think he does. I think Guillermo does like a good job of like not making him too much of a caricature. Like I think you get a lot of information about him. Like I don't know, even something like when he goes into the car dealership and stuff, and like he's not aware of the color teal. and, like you can tell he immerses himself a lot in work and like
It goes over his head.
being in a car dealership, he doesn't necessarily know what the fuck he's looking at, and it's like no. He's like, I don't know about the green, and it's like no, teal, and he's like,
Yeah, he has to be told like this is what's like, cool.
Wizardry.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it was kind of funny when the guy when he got to work, he's like, "Oh, I love that shade of green." It's teal. He's just like, "Ah." Okay.
But then he says it when someone else goes like, "Oh, I don't know about the blue," and he's like, "It's fucking teal." Like you idiot.
Yeah, and now you sat against the wall and just to belittle them. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's that guy. He fucking like learned something like 5 minutes ago. But then if you don't know it, he's like, wanker.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I doubt many people outside of painting and creative art like that knew that color.
Yeah, it looks
that was, huh?
It looks turquoise to me.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, turquoise would be a more like common guess.
For me, it's a little bit. They're kind of interchangeable, sort of like horror and thriller, you know.
Yeah. Well, glad that John isn't here because like black's not a color. That will know.
The absence of color.
Yeah. Yeah, we had an argument once about whether or not black and white were colors. And it went off on one, and John had his views. So.
That's not funny. Anyway, I mean, I see both sides, but I won't comment.
That's a nice little touch of it being like time period specific. Of teal is not like obviously like we know. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of casual knowledge now. Like you know what teal is, but
but
back then that wouldn't have been that widespread. Like,
exactly. Like even back then, like it's just like when Ford's really started taking off their cars, and then eventually when the first color cars started coming out, and obviously they were all kind of, I said limited edition, so they did them for a little while and then changed to a different color. Like teal was probably not a color they ever really did before.
Yeah.
Oh, it was very rare. So this is like a kind of limited run rather. They're going to do it for probably 2-3 years and then stop. And then you might never see that car color again. So that would be a really big deal because if you're seen in a teal car, that's like being seen in the latest Lamborghini or Ferrari of the time. Like people know you've got money and you're serious.
And
not serious, but
you can see when he's driving it and when people start waving at him on the road, he is fucking grinning from ear to ear. Like he fucking likes that. He likes people knowing he's fucking awesome. Like
that's just like, really, you bought the car for that, but that adds to his character, which is just like there was one part which is very of the times as well. It made me like want to stick my middle finger up to him. Is when he was in the bathroom and he said that crap about washing his hands,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh my goodness. It kind of reminds me of
Patrick.
no, that's rude. Anyway, it kind of
Yeah,
reminds
Alex.
it kind of
Perfect
reminds
time to
me
come
of
back.
like it kind of reminds me of the thing in I think it was in John Wayne movies or certain things where they'd be like, it's girly to say sorry. Like you should never say sorry. And there were some guys who grew up in those eras with those viewpoints because of how they were taught. Like you don't do this, you don't do that. That's weak. Why would you do? It's like, dude, you're just being an idiot. But whatever. You might learn eventually when you're 80 years old if you actually are humble enough. But yeah, at that point, I was just like, I wanted to just slap him.
But
But
that's such a good way to characterize him really early. Like
Yeah,
he will
it
wash
is.
his hands before he touches his own dick because it's his dick. He doesn't want to get it dirty. But he won't wash his hands after he's pissed everywhere because he doesn't fucking care about your hands. So, like,
Yeah, that says it all. I think it's like how he belittles them in the start, but he's still kind of polite. And as it goes on, he's just like you can see he just like he has so much disregard for like the help, basically, or not even just clean the shit off the floor kind of stuff. And he's always
Yeah.
insulting them no matter what. And I think that just says it all about himself that he puts on a front, but at the same time, in his own mind, he thinks he's like right, which makes him a great villain when they think they're right when they're wrong.
Yeah, the racism, the sexism.
But then you get to him in Zelda's house, and like, you kind of know all the steps he took to get there, but like, can you like? I felt like Brewster, Zelda's husband. I really feel for him in that scene because he's a fucking idiot. He's got no fucking clue what's going on. He's just sitting waiting for dinner, watching TV, and this fucking random guy just comes in, pushes his wife up against the wall, yells at him, and then pulls off his finger.
Yeah,
I don't feel for Brewster at all. That guy
Bruce
is
is like,
waste.
could you imagine fucking you're just thinking having a normal evening, then some fucking guy comes in, like fucking cites the Bible and chucks his fingers down like
The thing
your
is,
living room
I
floor.
feel like we're so desensitized. We could imagine that and just be like, dudes, really? Just like it wouldn't even phase us that much because of all the crap we see these days compared to back then.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. If somebody came into my house and took their fingers off, I'd be a bit miffed.
Yeah, I threw it under his telly.
I mean, even before that point, I mean, I know I don't deal with these in the best ways, but if somebody came into my house and was up against my wife, I'd be like, "Excuse me," and if he was trying to push further, I would be in a fight. I'm like, "What the f- you doing coming in my house?"
But that
would
shows you about
be in the fight if he pulled his own fingers off and chucked him under your telly.
Especially,
Okay, actually,
especially
you're
because
mental.
I'd be like, "All right, let me get my bat." I wouldn't say that. I would just disappear, run off, literally just dash off, come back, and just run at him with a bat. If someone pulls off their fingers, you don't know what kind of crazy stuff they're about to do. I
Yeah.
don't know what kind of hidden weapons this guy's got. But he needs to get the crap out of the house. He ain't staying in here. He took off his freaking fingers. I ain't normal. I don't know if he can't feel pain or something, but he needs to get out. It's just strange. But otherwise, Brewster was a waste of space.
Oh yeah.
But that was also quite common of the times. So
I do think of these characters as being entirely like from their times, and again, this is something that I'm gonna try not to bring up Eternals too much, but like it's one of those things where I kind of feel I catch myself comparing it where I'm going like,
why Eternals?
no, it's just I think it's because they're like eternal beings and they don't feel like them, and like it's this thing where like it's surface level diversity for like kind of the sake of it. Whereas this has diversity within it. Like the main character is a mute lady, the supporting actor is a gay old man, the supporting actor
Yeah.
woman, and it's like they all feel completely authentic, and they all feel like they occupy a space in this world, in this time period. Like none of it feels like it's there for just window dressing, and like that being a minority in this world like feels like something that's integrated into their character and is influencing decisions they're making. And then like because that's the thing, like you're talking about hitting this guy with a bat, but like for Zelda and Brewster in 1962, that's probably not a very appealing option for them. Like you can't, you know. And,
Yeah.
but if in modern day, yeah, I can imagine Zelda being like a lot more fucking confident, like get the fuck out of my house. But in 1962, she's probably forced to be a lot more like kind of like withdrawn, or like, you know.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about Zelda. I was talking about Brewster.
Oh yeah,
But that just added on to just how much of a waste of space he was. It would have been different if he was a decent guy, decent husband, and then he reacted similar to Zelda. Because I'd be like you said, of the time, if you did do that, it could have been a case of 12 angry men, but they're not actually going to debate it, and then he just gets put in jail and treated terribly.
Yeah.
So it's one of those cases. Do you defend your woman and then end up leaving her in the lurch when she's supporting her house by herself while you're in jail, or do you not stand up for her? And I think that's more of a choice that a couple would have to make together. But yes, like you said.
But this is something else I like about Guillermo. Brewster is a character. Like Brewster has like consistent behavior. He is not in it for more than like 3 minutes. And it's like he is in it for himself. He is not fucking interested in other people. He wants to anything like remotely uncomfortable. He's like, fuck it, I don't care. And it's like, yeah. So that coupled with 1962 attitudes, he's like, I don't need this. I don't need this fucking random agent guy biting his fingers off. Like, get him out of here. I'm not interested. Fucking take the mute lady. I don't care. And it's like, yeah, this is what I mean. They all feel so well integrated, and they all feel like they're part of 1962 America, wherever the fuck they are. Like, Rob, you're very quiet. Why do you hate this film so much? What is your
I don't
fucking
hate it.
this film?
No, if anything, I'd say I've got a bit of a disconnect with it for some reason. Like I obviously don't think it's a bad film. Like I think it's quite well put together. I think like some of the characters are really interesting. Like I was saying the other day, like I really like Giles, and a lot of the scenes with Giles in, I'm kind of like almost like it's almost like I was saying the other week when we were talking about Brian De Palma, where like he's just somebody that makes me want to go like, yeah, go you. Like Giles is that kind of character for me. But everything that's not Giles, I don't know. I can see kind of like the technical merit to it all, but I'm just like, you know, I don't know why, but yeah.
We all have
think,
our. Oh yeah.
Because you're not fond of. You're not fond of the fish.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, so I think I suppose the way I could explain it is that I think a common thing from sort of like reading things on like Reddit and sort of Letterboxd and whatever, the people who are like really into Guillermo del Toro and like really into this film seem to be really into kind of like the creature design and like everything around the creature and that kind of thing. But that's the bit that I just like, I struggle to care about for some reason. Yeah, like if it was a film that was literally just Giles, I think I'd get along with it a lot more, because I find him so interesting, like being like a closeted gay guy. He's got like a mute best friend, and like everything that's going on in his life. I'm like, yeah, I want to know more about that. But yeah, it's not really what you get from it, is it?
I mean, I think it's in there, like, but I think when you talk about, I think that's kind of why the I feel bad just referring to him as the fish, but like
The merman.
the merman, he's kind of he's kind of the central element that everyone else is kind of reacting to, and is sort of like he's sort of who everything's kind of orbiting around. And I like how he's different things to different people. Like Strickland sees him as like kind of an oh blimey.
There goes our monetization.
What happened?
Well, Strickland sees him as sort of like as just like an animal he's got to kind of overcome, and then like Eliza's seeing him as like kind of like a lover, like in a kind of romantic sense. Giles is seeing him as like kind of like this oddity that he's only really in it for Eliza, but then like it starts like benefiting his sort of insecurities about his age and stuff. Like for me, that it's the main cast are all kind of looking at the same creature and seeing like 5 separate things, and I find that really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's like I was saying to you the other day. I think where it all goes a bit flat for me is like when they're at work, because I think once they bring the creature home and you get that kind of like first-hand interaction with Giles and like all of that stuff going on, I really like all that. But I think it's like I don't want to call it like a heist element, but like where they're kind of like the idea is to get it away from work and to home, and like got that kind of like kidnapping bit.
They have to break him out and get him out.
Yeah, all of that, like, it's just, I don't know. I really don't get on with it for some reason. And one thing that I really don't like is towards the end when oh, you've said his name so many times. The main villain.
Strickland.
Oh shit, what is it? Strickland. Yeah, the bit towards the end where Strickland's like, "You are a god." I'm just like, ah.
I dislike that one.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's because it's a hard one for me because like all of the, like I said, like all of the stuff at home where you've just got like Giles is kind of like doing his thing and he's reacting to like the things that are going on in his world and all of that stuff. I really like that, but I think because the tension comes from Strickland and like everything that's going on at work, because I find that to be like the bit where it all goes a bit flat. It's just like, I don't know, it feels like something kind of takes the wind out of it for me because of that. I just really don't get along with like those bits for some reason.
Right.
Like I say, I can see the technical merit in it, but it's just, yeah, it just doesn't land for me for some reason.
Well, because I kind of like that when they're at work, like Strickland doesn't even necessarily. He is looking right at them, like after they've done the heist and everything, and like the other guy is talking about how like he reckons it's a team of like 10 men and they're all well trained. All this, and he's looking right at the people who did it, and she's like guilty as fuck, and
Just like
these fucking women, rubbish.
I can't spell it, but she's just like, and I'm just like, oh. So what did she say?
She's saying thank you.
Do you know, actually, that was
she said at the last minute.
that was the bit where I kind of like realised what my feelings on the film were. I think because like where you've got like Giles in the van, and he's kind of like having like his own little breakdown where he's like, "Oh, I'm really bad at this," and like because I was kind of like. I think I'd identified that I didn't like the bits at work, and I was kind of going like, I don't know, I feel really conflicted because like I do feel like I really like it, but I also feel like I don't like it, and I'm not sure what it is. So then when Giles said that line, I was like, oh, I like Giles. I'm not really into what's going on around Giles.
That's all right. Yeah, I just wasn't your specific. I say your specific. Yeah, we all have films that just don't really kind of gel with us, and characters that aren't that interesting to us.
But this is something that we were actually talking about, because I think you messaged me after you watched it, and you were like, "I love how we have such a thing against Guillermo del Toro and Tim Burton, like oppositely, but they are both quite similar, like kind of in their styles." And it's
Yeah.
One of the things I really appreciated in life, and I don't know if everyone would like this, but how he foreshadowed a lot of things through just camera shots in body language. So everything preluded something else. So
Yeah.
there's an office scene where Strickland creepily is is hitting on and coming on to um what's her name? The mute lady?
I love that.
Eliza. Huh?
I said I love how you phrased that, but carry on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dirty.
Huh?
It's alright.
Okay. Like yeah, when he was doing that to her, we already saw that coming. The kind of the highs, the Dimitri guy kind of help it. Like everything you could see it was gonna happen before it was gonna happen. Giles, the kind of actions he took. It wasn't that you couldn't predict it, but it's more that it made it more believable because you saw these people's body language and actions and facial expressions or where they was looking or what they was doing. And if you saw an average person doing that, you would expect that that's going to be the next course of action they took, and that's exactly what they did. And I just appreciated that because it just kind of flowed together naturally, as in that was the natural course of actions with the characters that were in it. And I guess that also proves a point that by a point in the film, we already knew the characters well enough to be able to go, yeah, that character's probably going to do this, and then they did that. That character's going to do this, and they did that. So they were staying true to character, but they also developed at the same time. Like
This
Giles.
is what I mean. I think like I think you get like it's all I don't know. I find the character work that Guillermo does is like really quite subtle, and like but it's doing a lot of heavy lifting, like kind of with where like the setting's concerned. And it's you know, I know you didn't like the work kind of side of it, but like it is I love that it's like kind of a government facility that they just clean, and it's about like simple forum, and it's just like, okay, well, it is actually a government facility. This is a government asset. They don't necessarily like know what to think of it. For them, it is just they work there, and it's like that monotony of they just work there. They're just cleaners. Like I think that does a lot to kind of just get you in the mindset of what's happening here and why it's unusual later. But even stuff with like Zelda, when like she's like, you know, she's fucking dusting this big fucking, I don't know what it is. It's like a jet turbine thing. But like she's going like, Brewster is such a fucking dickhead. I cook him pigs in blankets and he doesn't even fucking say thank you to me. And it's like,
it's so everyday, isn't it?
It's so everyday, but you get her entirely. Like she's just fucking bitching about her dickhead husband. it's like, yeah, I can get that, and it's just it just makes it just like that little more real, and you go again. I hesitate to bring it up, but it's the wanking again. Like, it's something really sobering, and it's something where you go, oh wow, fucking hell, and it's something that's like just so everyday, and. Like it just grounds it a little more, and so when you get like the merman come in, that you feel like it's unusual in the same way that they feel like it's unusual. Like, I think it does a really really good job of getting you in their headspace. You kind of forget that you're in a different person's headspace. Like I think it's really well put together, and I think it's put together in a way that you wouldn't necessarily pick up that it is put together, if that makes sense.
Rob, is that you?
Yeah,
What's that?
you're typing.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It sucks.
Can anyone?
That was a fantastic fucking payoff for that. I'm just fucking talking for like 5 minutes, and it's
It just dawned on me that I don't think we told Dan that we were doing this now.
Oh fuck me!
Yeah, I don't think so. Because he doesn't look at the group, does he?
Oh, one of us said that he couldn't do Friday anyway.
Yeah, so I asked him if he could do Friday, but I don't think anyone said that we were doing it tonight.
wow.
So he's going to be watching the film tomorrow then at like 10.
Guys, where are you?
Anyway,
yeah, never mind. Carry on.
but I agree with what you were saying, Alec. I thought in the way it was put together, it flowed together very naturally. There weren't moments for me that were really jarring or took me out of it, honestly. It just kind of made sense. I guess the first moment where it's just like, oh, something different is happening, where just before the black and white dancing part, the lighting shines a spotlight to her before she moves up into the fantasy world in her head, which again still flowed well, but like, yeah, I thought it was put together well, flowed together well. I wanted to, if anyone knows more about this, because I don't, but sorry, keep me Stanson. The at the end where
Do you need some tape?
Eliza is giving skills. What? We're not talking about that here. Anyway, if you want to be really demonetized and just video taken down, but I don't want that. So, it made me think, and maybe this is what we're meant to consider the possibility of. Was she always some kind of offshoot of a mermaid?
Yeah.
Which is why she was always mute. And the scars on her neck were just Camilla hasn't watched it. I'm spoiling it for her.
Go and
Close
watch
your
it.
ears.
Spoilers.
Close your ears.
Just go and watch it now. Do it.
Huh? Okay. Then is the scars on her neck like not properly formed gills? Which is
Yeah, I
why.
heard that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's kind of like she could have been a descendant from that species that the merman is from.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
It says Esposito, that's Spanish for orphan, and they're not. And they just called her Octavia. Zelda's like, yeah, they found her by a river, and it was like,
Wait, was she Spanish? She said.
She's got.
Her name is Esposito.
Oh,
Spanish
yeah.
for orphan. So like there are clues there to.
And then the merman is from South America. She could be a result of a woman and a merman or something like that. But then whatever happens, she ends up washed up.
See, that was the stuff I found interesting, where like, how would you live in a world which doesn't have sound? But then you're able to move into one that does have sound, and it's like I like that's something that he finds so fascinating with the music, and
Yeah.
I found that like really fucking interesting, to be honest. That was
It'd be like Alec if he decides to play games with sounds on.
Insane that.
Wait, you don't play games with sound?
Oh, fuck's sake!
That'd be another conversation.
wanted to. When I was a kid, I played Pokemon with the sound on, and my mum moaned at me because it was the same fucking thing on loop for like fucking hours. So I just now don't play music. I don't play games with the sound on. Like I'm just used to not playing.
That's like Camilla not playing the sound with The Sims, but that's different from playing The Sims compared or Pokemon compared to playing like Horizon Forbidden West or something. Like the score in those games is freaking beautiful.
Well, I wouldn't
That,
know.
that
That's why I always sucked at Overwatch because I couldn't hear people coming toward me. That's why I always sucked at COD because I couldn't hear people coming toward me. I never played it with the sound on.
I mean, there might be accessibility options for that, just saying. But besides that, if you play any kind of games like Horizon or story-based games, just switch the sound on, because I promise you, that will complete the experience. Just like going to a film, that will truly help immerse you just to that next level. Obviously, if you're just playing something like Overwatch or something, don't bother. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah.
That's low tier trash.
But yeah. So it's just like Pat, what's that game? Was it the game that me and John was saying you need to play with headphones? I wasn't sure if you weren't playing it with headphones or someone else. It's the game where you're playing a person who has schizophrenia, and they have voices speaking to them from different directions.
Is it
He was
Alien?
talking about me.
Yes. Which game was it?
Oh fuck.
Was it Alien Isolation? That game?
No.
Without finishing.
Nah.
No, it's from a smaller indie
Hey, I finished that
developer.
game.
Nice. Point is, it's a cool game that approaches mental health in a different way. But point is,
Yeah. There's a sequel out, I think, this year on Xbox.
yeah. But point
I
is,
can't
a game
remember the
like
name.
that, if you played it without the sound, you would miss like half the experience almost. Pat played it with the sound. We were just talking about headphones because that was what it was designed for. Because then you hear it from here and there, like it's all in your head, which is really cool. And it was trying to mimic how someone with that health condition might actually hear certain things. But anyway, back to this film and its
Yeah,
quality and representation.
it's
Very
incredible.
nice.
I love all the tangents away from the.
I segue back on. Leave it to you.
Right, someone else go. I'm fucking breaking my back doing this.
It's just something about a fish, man. It's like this has happened this week. It happened when we had the Fisher King.
Yeah.
Oh, Fisher King was good. Oh, that was good.
So we know that things with fall in the title, they're not going to do good. And in the title, people will just go out of their way to not talk about it.
Yeah, and we know what happened with Jaws and John.
Yeah, that's true.
Jaws and John.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jaws
what happened then? Was it just a bad story?
Yeah, John hated Jaws because it was just an old film.
moaned about setups being paid off.
I didn't like it, but that was just me personally. I thought it was really well done. Besides some of the acting, and script work, I was just like, I mean, it's of the time, but it was just annoying.
Anyway, Shape of Water.
Anyway, Shape of Water.
Or Shorter.
Oh, Waper Shatner, or whatever you call it. What was to say? I wasn't expecting how much. I mean, it makes sense after I see the creature, but I didn't realize he spent that much money and that much time to make just the creature before even making the film. Like, he spent a year and hundreds of thousands of dollars to create the creature. He went to like the biggest. It was at Legacy Effects. He went to the biggest kind of creature, kind of monster creation studio. I mean, it'd be useful to have Coral on this chat actually, because she probably knows about him.
That
Or
means
maybe she did.
be here, so
but what's to call it? Yeah, he went to one of the biggest studios, which obviously is not going to be surprised because he's a big director. And he worked with one of his favorite artists as well, just to really bring it to life.
Mm.
And they went through a long time developing this creature. I was like, oh, and I mean, I guess it paid off because a lot of people who like that part of the film really appreciate it. And even the actor, kind of like any actor who acts as a more animal type being, kind of like the guy who does the Dawn of the Apes or the Planet of the Apes. What's that guy?
Oh, Matt Reeves.
Yeah, Matt
No,
Reeves.
Andy Serkis.
Oh, you
Oh,
mean the
yeah.
actor Andy Serkis.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
Fair.
Yeah, thank you. I can't explain it right.
Hold on that.
But yeah,
Fuck
Andy,
you, Paul.
Andy Serkis. This guy, he did a similar job, I feel, in terms of making the character really believable. And doing all those things through body language when he couldn't say anything.
Hmm.
And I
Well,
think he got.
it's the same guy. He always has Doug Jones
Yeah.
doing the movement for like if he's got like a guy in a big prosthetic, he'll have
Mm.
Doug Jones doing it, and like
Wow.
he is such a good like physical actor. Like, sorry, I can't. Did you see Pan's Labyrinth? Like, no. He's playing like 2 or 3 characters in that, but like they're all these big like sorry, they're all very physical performances. But they're all like one's like a goat man, one's like the guy who's doing like he's got eyeballs like in his hands and he like talks like this.
Interesting.
He's like a really big like physical actor. So yeah, like you say, he's
Oh, nice.
where you get to do like a kind of a silent performance.
Hmm.
He's also the fish guy in Hellboy.
Cool. It's nice. But yeah, I think he did
He's
really
Abe.
well for.
He's good.
He's Abe. You said.
This is why I say the name.
Abe Sapien.
It would derail the whole thing.
Yeah, Manuel's not seen Hellboy, so he's like, who's that?
I've only seen one of them. I
Oh.
like the one I saw. I can't remember which one it was. It's probably the second or third one.
Did it have Nazis in it or did it have elves in it?
I can't remember, to be honest. The Hellboy was just effing a lot of people up.
Hellboy was in it. There we go.
And I had a good time. That's the main thing. I think it was one of the last ones that got made. So I
It
think it was
must
the
have
last.
been Hellboy 2.
Huh?
That would have been the second one. That
Yeah.
was the last one that got made.
They only did 2 good Hellboy movies.
Oh.
Oh, Manuel,
Yeah.
the game you were thinking of was Hellblade.
Nice.
The Blade of Hell.
Hellblade, so you were sacrificed. I still need to play that game. It's in my library. I haven't touched it yet. Anyway, I also have a lot of games I haven't played that I bought, but that's another thing. But I bought them for cheaper, just saying, or on sale. But not that you don't. But anyway, what was I gonna say? I found it impressive.
Shape of Water. Shape of Water is what we need to circle back to.
I'm a gamer, darn it. Anyway, I
Dang
found
it,
it.
Jim, I'm a gamer, not a doctor.
I did find it impressive how, again, this is what I found out from like the extras and stuff. Because of the way the suit was made, like when he went in the water or was fully immersed in water, he's like 70 pounds heavier, but he still needs to act completely the same. That's just like, that's just pretty interesting. So he's basically doing weightlifting while acting at the same time. I was just like, oh,
What a
he's doing well.
Like you can tell there's some elements of it that are kind of like CGI, but like again, I think this is a cool little Guillermo thing where he integrates the practical effect with the CGI like
Yeah.
really fucking seamlessly.
Yeah, the CGI was like you wouldn't tell. I mean, you can tell, but it doesn't like distract you from the film.
There are possibly there's possibly oh,
I'm
fucking hell.
sorry.
Right.
What happened?
What was that?
There's possibly like
Q&A
one or,
made apparently.
one or two shots where like you can tell that you're watching something that has CGI elements, and like they are very fucking few and far between.
Mm-hmm. Saying
Yeah.
that, the lights are another example of mix of practical and CG effects. Because the blue lights alone
Hmm.
were done practically by UV lights with UV paint, but then were edited afterwards to have that kind of special effect with CG.
Hmm.
So yeah, they just painted all those dots and stuff with UV paint, and then they would sweep the UV light in different ways, like over him to activate it or make it, or so you could see the UV dots in that particular part of the suit,
That's cool.
and then yeah, just tweak it in post.
And also the bit where Doug Jones just fucking straight up bites a cat's head off, I was like, man, what a fucking
Oh, poor cat.
That was my favourite scene in the film.
Nah.
That was your favourite scene?
Nah.
Yep.
I think
He
he
hates
counseling.
cats.
Well, that's why.
I feel like
I was-
Specifically, he hates
Oh.
cats' heads.
Well, what was funny was that I was sort of laying there watching it and sort of just taking the story in, and then all of a sudden it cuts to him sort of with a cat's head in his mouth, and I just uncontrollably started laughing.
I feel like
Oh,
most
man.
of your favourite scenes are just the closest example to an explosion.
Yeah. They're literally
I mean,
story time context.
I mean, there was an explosion in the film.
Yeah.
technically.
Was there? Why did Pat rate it so low then?
What?
It was a very small one.
Ah, there you go.
Ah.
I mean, I do
Yeah.
have other scenes that I really like, but that was one that tickled me a lot.
That's too funny.
What a
But
phrase.
that was sad. I was like, the cat.
But Giles, though, what a fucking Chad. Like, she's going like, oh my god, what the fuck? And he's like, it's not his fault. He's a wild animal.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's so awesome.
Anything else? He's just
he took it
fucking
really
accepting
well.
the whole thing. Sorry, Ben. Go on.
No, I was just going to say that's what he's such a lovely character because he's like he steps back and like, looks at the bigger picture and he's like, hang on, he is some sort of creature we don't quite understand. Obviously, in his mind, this cat might be prey or a threat, so he's obviously taking it out for that reason. So that's why he's got this like common sense to himself, where some people are just like, oh, he's evil and he's messed up, get rid of him, but he's got this like.
I think he has a nice
what
little
the
arc
creature is.
where he's like quite self-centered at the beginning, and then that scene in the pie shop like happens, and he kind of realizes this is about something that like outside of like he kind of stops putting himself first with that, and he starts helping Eliza and that, and I think that's like a nice little arc that Giles has, culminating in
I
this.
like I like it that he's an artist as well, because I think sort of him sort of having that job and having that ability to kind of like step back and sort of like empathize with the situation is quite a nice sort of it's a nice little connection, I think.
That's the thing, you can see him. You've seen that he's been drawing it and seeing how it moves, and like when you draw something and like you're trying to capture like the essence of it, then you will kind of start to understand it a little more and how it works.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really nice little touch, which actually I didn't even fucking think about until you said that. Like that is a lovely little touch.
Yeah.
Some things I think we should talk about because you know I like to I like to hold my films up to the standard that I hold other films to. The bathroom fucking flooding scene.
What about it?
Shall we moan about that?
Yes.
Go on then. Have at it.
The thing is,
I mean, it makes no
No, Patrick.
sense. Sorry.
No, go on. No. I said you go for it. You go.
Oh, it makes no sense. Where like, so the whole bathroom gets flooded, but it only leaks down to the cinema below, but not through the creases in the door. It makes
It does come through the door.
no sense. I mean, it doesn't break the film or anything, but it makes literally no sense.
It's also coming through the door.
Not at the same rate as it was going down the stairs.
Wait, down what stairs? Or do you mean just down to the cinema?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
dripping
so
down
it was
the cinema,
leaking.
but it's like there's like little streams coming out of the door.
Oh no, that makes complete sense. I've been in a house where something like that was happening. Like it could be the whole
Wait, what?
bathroom.
Where someone
Hang
decided to make a pool in their bathroom.
Pretty much. Well,
How's it creating enough of a seal to make the water rise if it's all leaking out of multiple places? That doesn't make sense.
let's not talk about that part. Exclusive just for that part. Talk about the rest of it, the actual practical, the water leaking down to the cinema, which was makes sense. So before, in terms of building work, it's going to leak through the floor, of course, the floorboards, to a section below. So obviously you have a gap like this that's meant to trap quite a lot of water in case things like that happen. But of course, it's a crappily built building. And it's not going to hold that much water. So then eventually you get it dripping and stuff. So it's not going to be at anywhere near the same rate dripping through that it is on the amount of water that's pouring out into the apartment floor. But yes, the fact that she was able to stop up the bathroom with a towel and it was able to rise that high, it wasn't even a good job.
She puts like one towel down under the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been a different thing if she put a ton of towels and then got some tape. I don't know, just did a ton of stuff. And then was just like, this is bad, but it's good enough. And then did it. And then I would have been like, okay, cool. I
think it's one of those.
Hmm.
I think it's one of those things for me where it's like in the moment, I was kind of going like, this is a bit silly. Because it's like, the only way that you'd been able to fill up the bathroom like that while it's leaking is if you had like a ridiculously powerful tap. And she obviously doesn't. And it's it's one of those things where I'm like, I shouldn't be thinking about how powerful her tap is. but equally, it's like it doesn't really affect anything. So it's like whatever.
In that shot, also, you can the bit that gets me is like they show the toilet, and I was like, can you imagine this fucking scene? And there's just this fucking poop just fucking. That fucking, yeah, that puts a little.
That's actually true though, because like I don't know, you would have like just like random bits of like bathroom debris floating in there.
Yeah, all sorts of soap and those bloody soap.
This is the thing, like you guys said, it doesn't affect it. I don't even think the cinema comes back into the story after that point. So like, it's like a little artsy shot and stuff, and like it's an emotional like symbolic fucking thing, and it's like it's dumb. It's fucking dumb. I will but like considering like how little it affects, I'm like, I don't care really. Like if there was like if there was like a story point that came after this where she's got to do a fundraiser to fix the floor that she's it'd be like, yeah, that was pretty crap. but like nothing really comes of it. So I'm like, like
There's no repercussions. It's okay. It's all
I
right.
think.
There is- oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that reminded me of another bit that like I don't know if I'd call it objectively bad or anything, but like just something that like fell flat with me was when they were first like breaking out and the guy was like, oh, you need to put this in the bath and it needs to be 6 to 8% salinity and all of that.
Right.
And then later on when she's like putting the salt in the bath, I was just thinking like I would have no idea what 6 to 8% salinity looks like. Like, I don't know how you would measure that.
Just pour as much as you can, and then when he starts being happy, you're like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's just like it's one of those lines where I was like, I would have been happier if you didn't write that line.
Yeah, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't really make a difference because, like, I think the whole story kind of like involves the fact that what's his name has to see them escape through the camera to help them escape entirely, and the fact that he has to give them like he said, didn't he say they have to give the merman like one of those things a day, not just one. So if he didn't reappear after that, then he probably would have died before they got to the docks.
Yeah, it's just one
He
of those
came
things
back
where it's
twice
like
to
if you, yeah, it's just like if you didn't write that into it, then it just I don't know, it would have been. Well, it had just been one less thing for me to think about at this point, and yeah, I didn't really like how that bit played out.
I'm okay with him like saying it, but like, yeah, her ability to judge salinity.
The way I kind of saw it, I viewed it as, and I guess maybe I'm just giving it too many passes, but I just viewed it as a scientist guy who's usually used to speaking like this is in a rush, and he's just saying it as if he's talking to one of his colleagues and darts off. Just like someone at work is so used to saying acronyms, they'll say something to you in a rush and use all these acronyms, and they rush off, and you're like, what the did you just say? The people at work in office buildings do that all the time. I'm like, dudes, I'm in a freaking different department. I don't know what the you just said.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, to be fair, I think I'm the person who does that at work.
So to me, I just saw it like that. Like he's in a rush. He's just like, oh, okay, bye. And it's just like,
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know, like I think because of the way it plays out. So like he kind of says like you need to do this, and then later on she just like dumps a load of salt in until it's like it seems alright. And so it's like it's a bit of a weird kind of like I don't know. It's just weird how it plays out to me. I think if he'd have said like this is what you need to do and it was super specific, and then that came up later for some reason, then it would have been fine because it's like okay, there's a reason for that kind of happening, but it just felt like there wasn't a reason to be that specific, and then it just sort of created a question for me that it was like, well,
I think
know.
you kind of get that though, because like you get the scene where Zelda like tests the water, and then she's like getting all these scales come off on her hand, and she's like, "Fuck this!" It's like you can keep it going by just fucking eyeballing it, but like at the end of the day, it meets certain conditions. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
there's a point
but
as
it's
well.
like when I'm cooking, and Eb's like, follow the recipe. We need 200 grams of this and 300 grams of that, and I go,
yeah.
there's 400 in the cup, so fuck it. And I go under. At the end of the day, I've made mascarpone. And
Oh man, that doesn't sound good. But remind me not to ask you to cook. But anyway,
mind you, I'm shit at it. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was just saying, similar to what you were saying, Alec. Just to add on to that, I think the other point is basically that's to mimic his home conditions. I haven't fact checked it, but I'm assuming that 6 to 8 salinity is about the percent of salt to water that's in where they pulled him out of around South America, wherever he was from. If it ain't and whatever. But that 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 might be one of the points.
Well,
Since they,
you've made me curious, so I just keep. Apparently, it's 3.5%.
so so even if she knew how to do it, she still would have killed it.
Because Strickland says it's the River Mock or something. River Mock.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. But yeah, I do have an objective flaw with this one, which
Oh, yeah.
I will share with you. Once you're done with your River Muck or whatever.
It's proving difficult to find the salinity of this specific one.
What a shame. What a shame that is.
What was the one you found before, Rob?
Oh, apparently most seawater is 3.5%.
Gotcha.
Cool, let me check something. We can do our favorite scenes now as well. Right.
Absolutely. But I do have my objective flaw to point out.
Oh yeah, go.
And that is with I nearly fucking called him Heimerdinger. His name Hofstadler, Bob Hofstadler / Dimitri. His death scene. I draw issue with this. He gets he like his comrades. That's not intentional. His comrades start firing on him. Strickland has been following him. Strickland kills the other Russians, and then he starts kind of like, well, torturing him, basically, like putting his thumb in like his wound and all that. As Hofstadler is about to die, after Strickland has said he wants names and ranks of the team who did it, Hofstadler goes, no names, no ranks, they just clean. And this is like it's clearly like a goading kind of thing, like, fuck you got fucked by a bunch of fucking cleaning ladies, you prick. However, this does then lead to him directly to Zelda. They are the only Zelda and Eliza are like the two cleaners who are like they're like on this fucking project, and like he's kind of already sort of had his eye on them.
Yeah.
So for Hofstadler to outright say no names, no ranks, they just clean. Like, yeah, you got your yucks, but you've now fucking endangered this whole thing where they're trying to get him into the fucking ocean.
I was expecting him to give up the names of the people who got rid of him, because that would have been a perfect kind of like F you while he was dying. You came to kill me. I'm gonna now send some crazy guy after you and expose you and your whereabouts to the American government. F you.
Instead, I did this all to save the merman and the people saving the merman. Here's their names. Well, not their names. I'm not going to put you on their fucking trail. I think that's a big problem.
That's against his character.
Interesting. In my opinion, I didn't think he would have realized that what was his been like him saying they just clean would have been an obvious thing for Strickland to know. I don't think he clocked that. He knew that Eliza and Delilah would have been like the main cleaners straight away. I don't think.
But they're the only ones who clean, and he's seen that.
They are the only two who clean in that facility. But like, he
that
always
specific lab,
watching it again. Hofstadler always nods at Eliza when he sees her.
Yeah, that's true.
He sees them cleaning in there, so it won't be any other member of the cleaning staff. It will be these two who are the only two who clean that facility. So like, that I think is a big fucking problem. I think that is against his interests, and like all for being able to like take the piss out of him a little bit as he's dying. I don't. I think that's quite weak.
Yeah.
Even if he's like says that in a gloating way, so he's like you said a minute ago, he's saying that to piss him off and say, yeah, these cleaners got the better of you, and they've probably got to the docks by now, and you're too late, kind of thing. Maybe that's in his mind. He thought what he was saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's what they was trying to write in, but like Alex said, at that moment, I forgot about it. But that was one of the moments where what I was predicting didn't happen. I was just like, wait, why did you just give them up? I thought you was gonna lead him to the people who did you dirty because you worked hard for however long your life for these people, and you basically do what they ask, but not the way they asked it, and then they kill you. And it's just like that takes the piss. Like you're not gonna get back at them. You literally had a little revenge ticket just handed to you on a platter as you were dying, and you didn't take it.
All he had to do was say no names, no ranks, and then Strickland has fuck all. But instead, he says
That is real.
and it's like, oh, the fucking cleaners.
But how would we get
Only cleaners
how would
here.
progress after that? What would be the clue to link him to Delia?
Well, I don't know, but I I don't think he should say it.
Yeah, you shouldn't say cleaners because that doesn't make sense
that's
why
my
he
point.
helped the whole time.
You've gone against the character to make the story work, and because then he knows, oh fuck, I'm gonna go to Zelda's house, and it's like,
Yeah, and the reason why I was thinking it makes sense more for him to give out his own people that did that to him was because he didn't want to die an excruciating, painful death. He was already in enough pain as it was and was going to die. But if he kept being resistant and gave no names, it would have been even more excruciating and painful. But he could have just said what he was expecting. Okay, it was these guys, blah, blah, blah. They literally thought it was the Russians or some kind of elite team. He literally could have given all the names, just been like, yeah, it was all of them. And he would have chumped it up and believed it. And he would have
but
been
even
like,
if he says no names, no ranks, that's still a fucking piss take of him.
it is,
You got
but,
fucked by people with no names or ranks. Like,
yeah, but he's not someone who's strong enough to go through that kind of torture. I don't think he was. And
I
that's
don't
basically
think he out of it. Like he said that, like really voluntarily. Like
he did, but if that's the equivalent of saying F you if he didn't give the cleaners, but instead he said F you, the cleaners. So he gave them information and custom at the same time. But if he just custom, he just would have got shocked again and probably would have passed out and had a heart attack if he didn't already.
Yeah, which would be in line with his interests. He wants the merman to survive, and now that's like the main way he's characterized.
But also, he was willing to defend himself with that, even though it was a butter knife, a silver butter knife. I don't know how he could have defended himself with that. To be frankly honest,
I mean, if you like put a butter knife in someone's eyeball fast enough, like it doesn't matter how fucking sharp it is. It's still a fucking long.
Yes, but does he come across as a fighter?
Yeah, I mean he's like a Russian agent. Like I
no, he's a scientist.
Yeah. But you don't need to be like a fucking trained person to go. Like they'll still do damage.
But there was a trained person next to him. I'm just saying.
He doesn't have a lot. Like what would you? Like, I'll just.
Main point I'm saying is that he was willing to defend himself and get ready to fight for his life. But he's not willing to sit tripling on him.
Yeah.
I just, again, I thought they could have written that differently. But anyway, I forgot about that, and I get what you're saying, basically. Also, sorry, Rob, you might not have found it, and I also haven't found it. But looking at different bodies of salinity of water, there are a lot that
This is
are
correct.
like way above 6 to 8%. Like even the Baltic Sea is at 10%. So
Is that percent though on that list? Because I couldn't work out like how that translates.
yeah, so for example, if I give an example like Chilika Lake, which is a lagoon in India, it goes from, and I don't know why it changes, but it goes from 0.13% to 31.73%. And then of course you have places like the Dead Sea, which is obviously just salt, which is 337%. But I don't know how you get more than 100%.
Well, that's what confused me because like if it's 337% salt, then that would mean that like surely it'd be dry.
I mean, it is though. You can
Yeah,
walk
that's a
across
five,
the Dead
guys.
Sea. Let me just check with the Baltic one to see if I. Sorry. That is funny. Oh, let's see.
Is that?
I'm just kidding. Sorry, I know this is not the point, but this is interesting.
No, I enjoy this tangent. It's like we're talking about so much. We're now talking about the salinity of water bodies. I love it.
Ah, I've worked it out, man. So the salinity of the Dead Sea, so that's well. So it says that it's 34.2% or 342 grams per kilogram. So on this chart, so the highest salinity, so that 433 must be 43.3% salinity, and then the Baltic Sea must be 0.1% salinity.
Yes,
What do you think?
because
Pat?
100 is 10%. So
Yeah.
Lake Albert, like Salt Lake in America, it would be 12% salinity.
Yeah.
And then
I'll
something
be
like
honest, Alec. This tangent sort of made my mind sort of go.
just go.
wait. Hamelin Pool, a lagoon in Australia, is 6.6% salinity. So
We've
it's
cracked it. He's
possible.
Australian.
What a cunt!
Anyway,
Right,
sorry,
piracy.
I stopped.
I'm sorry.
Oh man, sorry, carry on.
Please don't worry about your wedding reception. I will not say cunt.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be offended, so probably best to avoid it.
I really thought you were gonna, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to say it, so
No, they're not. That's just your
I
imagination.
will keep it on the down low. I will
Cool,
say
yes.
no words.
Yes, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna be as quiet as the grave, as sober as Rob.
I mean, as long as no one causes trouble, I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm gonna try really hard.
Yeah.
So good.
If it's looking sketchy, we'll just kind of be very quiet and be like, "Hey,
I'm gonna be on my best behavior. Best.
Oh, yeah, what's my favorite scene?
With YouTube as my witness, I will be on my best behavior. I would not ruin your special day.
This feels like
So-
foreshadowing now.
Yeah, it does. I'm really
that's-
sorry.
And it could be more. Well,
It now sounds like I've got something planned. Like I won't ruin this special day. I won't.
What did you say, Ben?
I was going to say Alec could be a bit more well behaved than John.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. But the favorite scene. I know, Pat, you talked about eating cat heads. that won't
I'm
come
doing
up.
that at the wedding now, Pat.
No, just eat some nice calamari.
No tap on the chickens.
I don't know if I could pick a favorite scene. There's a lot of scenes I like.
You've picked a favourite scene from your next. You can pick one from this film.
That film didn't have much going for it. This
Precisely.
has a lot. So, I'll just say some of the scenes I like the most. I like what she was saying, F you. Like over and over again, and then switch to thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just like, oh, that's rude. But that was I like that. The way she was just smiling at him while saying F you to his face, it's just like that's a nice touch. I think I also, even though it was impractical, and I don't think you finished cussing that scene yet. The one with water in the bathroom. I was just like, oh, it's a scene from it's like similar to the poster, but not the poster yet. So I like that. And then I like the scene, I think, right at the end where it's the whole scene where Giles kind of says bye, but like it's like, oh, they say bye with touching their heads, and then they jump into the water, and then she gets Gills, and it's
Can
just
I-
like, yeah, that was a nice end. I like that.
Can I just
He
ask?
died.
Does it feel more intuitive to say Giles or Giles?
Yes,
How's it pronounced in the film?
I don't know if anyone actually says his name, but like I think it's Giles. But like I was just wondering if, as an American man, Giles is intuitive to you, because I think Giles is a lot sort of smoother.
No, Zelda says it when she's on the phone. She's like, Giles.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well there you go. I mean, I don't know anyone called that. So
It was a genuine. I'm not taking the piss. I know it is hard, but like it was a genuine question. Like
I'm pronouncing it wrong anyway, because technically, I'm talking. Can you close the door?
stop down.
Talking too loud. Because it's G-I, so it would be Giles, since Giles would be G something else and then I. So that's just me mispronouncing stuff and not taking care.
Oh, that's okay. I just assumed it was like an Americanism, like aluminum.
Yeah.
aluminum.
Aluminum. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Pretty strong. Patrick, do you want any more than the one that you gave, which was the cat eating scene?
Comedy gold.
There's a few pretty cool scenes.
Cat eating, love it.
I actually quite like the scene where she sort of sat beside the tank that the amphibian man is in and starts feeding him eggs. And it
Mhm.
sort of reminded me of what's that other film? No, not Giles.
I see it's Giles. It's pronounced differently from Giles. Anyway.
That was so fucking cute.
But also, like at the end, I know, I know Rob hated it for the fact that what's his face says, "Oh, you are a god," but that whole sequence at the end was really cool. Up until that bit.
I thought you'd like that line because it's a bit of a sort of like stereotypical action line, isn't it?
It was okay. I mean, it could have done without it.
It's no, I'll be back.
Huh?
It's no.
I said it's no, I'll be back.
Nah.
To be fair, I picked the film. I do not like that line. I think that is gay. Yeah. However, I do think the plank of wood to the face. I think that's very good. Robert.
So mine's related to Pat's actually. Mine's the bit that we were speaking about earlier with Giles, where he's like, oh, he's a wild creature. We can't ask him to be anything else. I really like that. I mean, there's there's just a lot of what I like about Giles there, because I think like you think about sort of kind of the traits of the character, like what we were saying earlier, like where he's an artist, but also that he's a closeted gay man, and like in a time where you can't really be yourself if you're a gay man, and just that kind of thing, and him showing that kind of empathy towards a completely alien creature, I just think is really cool.
Yeah. That's why he's such a good character. I'm surprised you didn't mention the key lime pie sequence.
Yeah.
I knew it. He taped up. Hey, where's Rob?
Rob should be in this diner right now.
Yeah, he'd be there. Okay.
I mean, to be honest, from what they said, the pie was terrible. I mean, just like the guy. That's his own foreshadowing. The pie
Now
was
we know
flat,
why.
and so was he.
Now we know the real reason why I didn't like it.
Key lime pie. I have to deal with homophobia. That'd be great though. You're just like key lime pie. Bloody hell, yeah.
What a film!
And then you just turn it off. Then, yeah, it's good.
I've seen all I need to see.
There was no
it's-
key lime pie.
It's taken 92 films for us to get a key lime pie reference.
You know what? There's that. You never saw Dexter, did you?
I saw like 2 episodes.
There's an episode of Dexter where he's trying to help someone he cares about die, but like in a nice way. And she's like, I just want to have a fucking really good key lime pie. And the episode is him trying to find the perfect key lime pie for her to eat before he fucking poisons one. I haven't seen that episode in fucking ages. I cannot attest to the quality of it, but I remember that being a whole fucking episode where he's going around the country trying to find key lime pies for his friend who's died.
You know what he could have done? He should have crossed universe and gone into the pie maker. Wait. Camilla, who's the pie maker? Pushing Daisies. He should have gone into Pushing Daisies.
Oh,
That's the guy who brings stuff back to life, and then poisoned one of his pies to give to her. That would have been a nice. They poison pies in that one, but not to kill people. To drug them.
That's sweet.
Yeah, but he could have drugged it to kill it. That would have been a nice kind of cross, kind of
Yeah, that'd have
universe
been pretty nice.
reference.
Vision Days is a very underrated show.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet. Anyway, sorry.
I will find that episode of Dexter for you because that's the only one I can attest to. I think
I feel like there's not enough. I want to read the books, but I feel like there's not
No.
enough Key Lime Pie. There's not many Key Lime Pie references, to be honest.
No, there's not.
don't read. Ben, what's your favorite scene?
Don't read what.
No, I think Dexter is shit. Don't do it.
I actually was interested in the way it went, but anyway.
My favorite scene probably would be. Yeah. I'm just trying to think. There's a lot of little. I mean, throughout the whole film, it's just a fantastic character study and how character makes story happen in a sense. But I think any of the main scenes with Strickland was probably fantastic. Even the bathroom scene was his perfect introduction. The scene also in his office where he literally makes what's his face come in the door twice. He's like, "You need to knock. I'm here. I'm urgently. Go out and knock again." It shows you how petty and horrible he is in that regard. And bits like that were fantastic. And him just breaking off his bloody fingers just to make it. It's basically a sign of intimidation. Like, I can do this to himself. What am I going to do to you? Kind of thing. But all the intimate scenes with the creature and her, just obviously Alex said that dream sequence was very effective. But I think the first sequence where they meet with the hard-boiled eggs probably was really quite it tells you a lot. And obviously the foreshadowing and the payoffs, even though John would hate it, the fact that one of the eggs falls loose and falls down into the gutter, and then obviously Strickland sees that and he's like, "Oh shit!" And
Are you saying John would hate a setup that was? That's crazy.
But yeah. There's a lot of ones I like, but that's my brainstorm of my favorite bits.
You know, you have reminded me of something actually. There is one Strickland scene that I did like, and it's when they're in the car, and the guy's like, "Oh, can you smell that? I think that's your fingers." just without saying it, it's so well acted because without saying it, you can see Strickland being like, "I fucking know it's my fingers."
He's like, "Shut up!" And they tell him to get out the car. He's like, "This is my car." Get out. Oh man.
See,
I feel
nobody asked. So, Alec, what's your favorite scene? I think that's why the scene where he comes into Zelda's house. I think that is one of my favorite scenes because I just love the idea of being Brewster in that moment where you're not sure what's going on, but this guy just cited Bible verse and broke off his own fingers to make a point.
Wait, is this like a Pulp Fiction moment?
What the?
Where he starts quoting before he's just like, what was it? He quoted. He quotes
Ezekiel 25:17.
Yeah, and then he's like holding a gun. He's like, what the fuck? This guy's freaking crazy.
I just want to be in Brewster's head for that moment. He's like, sit down, and I'm just like, yeah, you fucking better sit down, man. He seems pretty angry. He puts off his fingers. It's like, yeah, he's really angry. Actually, you better fucking just let this ride out.
I feel for everyone who's had to be near him this whole time, especially his secretary. His secretary has had to stand in that stank for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And she can't say nothing because that's her job on the line. I wonder if she like had a habit of just keeping like smelling salts or something on her desk, just to kind of offset it. So every time someone comes in, it's just like, oh, and she's just like,
I love it because this film is very much about like, you know, getting you in the headspace of the characters, and you're like, I think that's where the humor comes from. You understand why Strickland is doing what he's doing and why he's doing it, but just you have this outside observer now who's like doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and then when he's doing that stuff, I'm just like, oh god, what are you making of this?
yeah.
You could do a great parody of that scene of just like sit down.
But
Oh, my goodness.
also the little dance snapper scene. I really like that scene. That's possible. I mentioned it at the beginning that is still possibly my favorite scene in the whole fucking film. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I do like that scene. To be fair, that's one scene that I always remember from seeing it in the cinema, like for different reasons to you, because the cinema I was in was like me and an annoying couple, and they didn't really react to it. But yeah, that always stuck out to me.
Ed went to see this with her family. Like they're kind of older generation. Like it's a grandma and their grandma's sister, and they were just like, "Oh, let's go see Shape of Water. It'd be really fun." And then it started, and halfway through they were like, "Oh, this is the one where the lady." At the end of it, they were like, "That was really good. That was really, really good." And it was like, "Oh, that's really nice." Like, you know, for people like Pat, it's the film where a lady fucks a fish. But then you watch, then you watch it and you kind of forget it's about that, and then you're like, that's all right, whatever, man. Like, it's not the fucking perverted mess that sounds like. That I was about to ask Emmanuel what he was about to say. Now I'm finished, but he's not there anymore, so I have a piss.
He's gone.
He gone. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourself.
Emmanuel's commented.
Wish.
Talk amongst your fucking selves.
It's good.
Oh shit.
Are we still recording?
I think we are, but I've accidentally just come off it, so I'm not actually sure. I'll tell you in a second. I hope that means that we haven't lost it all. I think we're still going.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, right, yeah. Man, I could quite easily fall asleep just sitting here, you know. I'm so tired because I've been out all day for the first time since you guys came down.
Oh wow, really? That is a long time.
It was really sunny down here today as well, so my head's feeling a bit hot as well. I was looking at
Why aren't you talking amongst yourselves?
I was trying to, you cuck. I was looking at streaming for what I'm planning to pick in a couple of weeks, and the only place that is streaming is on Apple TV.
Oh well, Emmanuel.
So for Apple TV, can we all access it regardless of whether we've got Apple devices?
Yeah. I get
Okay,
the I have the subscription.
So what I might do then is just buy it. What did you say, Pat?
I said I've got it on my PlayStation, so you don't need an Apple device.
Okay, good. So what I might do is I might just buy it on Apple TV, and then you can all use my login for it.
That's a great idea. Because once you purchase something, yeah, you just watch it as many times as you want.
I got it on Blu-ray to be fair, but I thought I'd share the love.
The manual is
Carry on.
Wait, wait, 1 moment. Buy what?
Oh, I was saying that something that I'm planning to pick when it's my next pick, whenever that is. It's only streaming on Apple TV for some reason.
Oh, that's interesting.
Equally, it could be a different platform entirely because it will be an entirely different film by the time we get there. There's like 4 weeks or something, to when his next pick might be. So like, there's so many fucking minutes that will change the balance of this.
Did I miss anything?
Nah.
I went for a piss and then everyone started talking about something else. So it's basically the same as if I didn't go for a piss. Everyone will just.
Okay. Pat, were you saying to say my film? Or was someone saying something else? Like, did you guys finish talking about stuff?
I was actually going to ask you what you were about to say before I interrupted you.
With me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You were going to say something, and I started talking about my favorite film. Favorite film? Fuck. Favorite bit of nothing.
Oh, I can't remember. Sorry. But
disregard.
Did anyone want to say anything more?
Oh, that was pretty decisive there, Ben. Jesus. No, I'm pretty happy with that. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
It was awkward to begin with when we were talking about Apple TV and literally anything else other than to do with the film. But I'm glad it was £7.99, and I'm glad everyone kind of enjoyed it.
That's true. Actually, we started talking about Apple TV, and we started talking about Apple TV, and we finished talking about Apple TV.
The cohesion in this call.
Nice. And it was £3.99. It was good value for money.
I'd love Humphrey to score the little mug.
He hasn't watched it yet.
Yeah, doubt it. You can do family. You can do family sharing as well. It's great. Anyway, it's probably not going to work.
Wait, so if I buy it, can I give you access to it?
Yeah, but that only works if we're part of your Apple family.
Right.
Yeah.
I just saw your Facebook message. That's fucking cute as fuck.
But this is a good charades moment. Okay. Take the fact that we could be an Apple family. Okay, with all these shares of film. What is someone trying to do when they do this to someone else?
They're trying to shush you.
And what's one of the words that goes, I want you to be
quiet?
Yep.
And what is that plus family together? What type of family is that?
A quamily.
Almost, but 2 separate words.
A quiet family.
Ding, ding, ding. There you go. Alex has announced my pick.
Oh, a quiet family.
Yes. Now, I won't say too much about it, but basically, as context, because I don't know if this might help, but this is actually a Korean remake of a really wacky Japanese film. So this is technically a horror comedy, but I just see
layers of Asian on top of Asian. So.
Yeah. So this is technically a horror comedy, though I just see it as a dark comedy or what's called a black comedy. So you will not be scared at all in this. Just saying. Though the Japanese one was a horror comedy musical. So, oh wait, hearty comedy musical with bits of claymation every now and then.
Oh,
Oh, so everything Pat loves.
yeah.
Just play people fucking singing. Yeah.
I'm actually really excited for this because this is the same director as A Tale of Two Sisters, right?
I think so. It might be. It might be
Is
the
he
first
on-
film I
It
saw
is,
from
yeah.
this guy.
A Quiet
Yeah.
Family.
I'm really excited for this, man, because when you picked A Tale of Two Sisters, I really liked it, and I went and looked at the other stuff that the director did, and I remember seeing this. So I'm excited to watch this.
It looks good, but in a good way.
You fucking set that up immaculately because you started this call talking about A Quiet Place, and I was like, "Oh, is this your?" You were like, "Has anyone seen it?" This is not subtle whatsoever. Well, like, fair enough. And then, and now you just done this. Completely. Oh
No,
my
that was
It's the
coincidence.
same fucking background as the Addams Family.